Uh-oh, chat. I'm a minute late. Uh-oh. Where's the... Here I am. Hello, chat. Welcome to the stream. Happy, Wednesday. Hump day. All that jazz. And, first day of June. So, I guess it's officially summer now? Unless, I don't know when summer actually officially starts. It's the beginning of summer in spirit today, at least. How are you all doing today? Hope you're having a fine day today. Today, we are going to be starting a new project. Hold on, actually you can't see. Let me, go ahead and... There you go, you should be able to see that. I'm going to be starting a new project today on stream. I have for you today... Hold on. I don't have the monitoring on, so it's weird to... Anyway. I'm going to be designing a board game on stream. That's the new project. So unlike, you know, when I did Ego and Opus, you got like the tail end of that. So I wanted to start from the beginning with this one. Not from the beginning, because I already had the idea for it and you know, drafted out a few ideas. But practically the beginning. Because I haven't made any of the assets yet, which is what I plan to do on stream and finalize the rules, sort of hack that out. It won't take nearly as long as Ego and Opus, because this is a one-off board game, you know. Yeah, we don't have to design a bunch of cards or anything. We have to design a bunch of letters, though, because the idea for this game, called Lexicauseways, is sort of Scrabble plus Mario Party. You put down tiles, and you use the tiles. You make words out of letter tiles, and you use the tiles as spaces on the game board. And your goal is to catch the other players on the board, while also doing like mini games and stuff throughout. That's the idea as is. I did play like a little prototype with a friend of mine the other day, and I may rework or like remove the mini game aspect, because currently it's a little questionable. But that's what we're going to be working on. And I think the first thing that we should do, work on is the game board itself. Because you know that's the main thing. I was thinking about doing the logo first, but that feels like, I don't know. I feel like that should be something we do near the end, once we have this sort of feel of the game, you know, is design the logo last. So today's agenda is to make the board. So let me go ahead and get some water, turn my fan on. I don't have a fan in this room, obviously, but outside my room. Hopefully gets it a little gets the wind flowing around a little bit. Just give me a sec. There we go. It's flowing. So, it's kind of weird having just a blank canvas here, but we'll figure it out. I do have a template though. That's where we'll start. And also, I have some music to play in the background. Did you know, chat, I as a joke, kind of, I put in a Scrabble soundtrack to see if there was any Scrabble music, and it turns out there's at least three Scrabble games that have their own soundtrack. So we're gonna be shuffling between those. They're like 30 minutes each, so they won't take up all 2 hours. But one of them is just like, it's not an original soundtrack. It's like classical music, which I guess is fine. We'll play that one first, and then we can get to the more interesting soundtrack. Let me see. I need to make sure it's not too loud as well. How's that? Can you hear that? Barely? There we go. Let me know if that's too loud or not. Or like not loud enough. I don't want it to overpower anything, but especially this is a like MIDI. Hello Cap, welcome to the stream. Didn't know this. Saves information in my internal storage. Dope. Yeah, it's important to know. In case you're ever playing like one of those trivia board games from 1984, and you need to know like how many digital Scrabble games are there? The answer would be 0, because I don't think any of them came out yet. But that's beside the point. The point is, we have music, and you can hear the music. Also, again, for those who don't know, it's Cap's birthday today, so happy birthday, Cap. Thanks for choosing to be here. Because, well, I mean, you are my mod, so I guess you have the slightest obligation to be here, but, I mean, you don't really have to ever be here, so I appreciate you sticking around. I will always be here as long as I am here. Well, thank you very much, Cap. So, looks like the levels are good. So now I will open our template. The program I use for or the platform I use for these templates is the Game Crafter. And this was the, well, okay, I'll explain the rationale here. Let me just open it first. I can't focus on two things at once, apparently. So here's the board that we'll be using. I need to get these layers over here. Because chat, you are on the, for me, you are on the right side of the screen. So this is 18 by 18 inches, and I'm basing this game off of a standard Scrabble board. As you can see here, I made a prototype the other day. This was pinned down before, but the pins came out. I don't know if you can see that. You can see that? So I drew over a Scrabble board, as you can see here. And a Scrabble board is 15 and a half by 14 inches. So 18 by 18 seems a little excessive, doesn't it? But, well, I don't, well, the next smallest option was 16 by 16, which I was like, okay, well, that makes more sense. That's more form-fitting and all that. Yeah, we'll do that. But it costs more. Can you believe that? It somehow costs more to have a smaller board. I don't know why that's the case. It's doubly as expensive, in fact. It's not any thicker, from what I can tell. It does have 6 folds in it, which maybe that contributes. Because this one only has 4 folds, as you can see. It's a quad fold. So I guess maybe it's expensive to make folds. I don't know how that works. I don't pretend to. So this is the one we're gonna work with. I mean, it gives us enough space for modifications anyway. This is the template I plan to use for the letter tiles, because we need letter tiles for the letter tile game. So these are each 75 inches, or 0.75 inches. You did not see anything besides a green square? What do you mean? How do you... I calibrated this before. What in the world? Hold on. Wasn't it displaying properly before? Properties. There it is. You can see now, right? Okay, so this is the 18 by 18 board. This is this information regarding like bleed zones, like where you can actually, like if, for instance, if you put anything outside of this area, it won't show up. This is where they actually cut it off. And this little area right here, you want to put all the important information in, because anything beyond that has a chance of being cut off. Yeah, this is the same style of template for the box art I did for Ego and Opus. I mean it's exactly the same process when it comes to like what the borders are and all that. So this is the square. GameCrafter does not allow letter tiles, or it does not offer letter tiles as an option for some reason. You'd think that letter tiles would be a pretty basic, well, maybe not. I thought that like letter tiles would be a pretty basic game component, but I guess they're pretty specialized now that I think about it. So we have to settle for, I think they're like cardboard or like cardstock, like squares. A little flimsier, a little harder to like work with, but it's the best we can do. And they come in packs of 100, which I think is perfect, because I think there's about 100 Scrabble tiles in Scrabble. So yeah, that works out. So when we make the board, we have to make sure that the spaces are a little larger, a little bit larger than 0.75 inches. Probably like, what would be some good wiggle room? Maybe make it like 0.9 inches. Hello, Tyler BB. Welcome to the stream. Did I ever beat Fallout New Vegas? Wow, that's a blast to the past. Yes, I did. I did beat New Vegas. Love the playthrough. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yes, I did beat New Vegas, and I loved it. Very good game. I never 100%ed it, but I did beat it, and I took the what route did I take? I took the yes man route, I believe. In case you were curious. But yeah, Fallout New Vegas was conquered a while ago. We played a lot since then, actually. It's kind of crazy. Time flies. All right. So, first order of business, we need to figure out how many tiles are on this board. So let's see. Let's count, everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. It's 15 by 15. Has it actually been half a year since New Vegas? Insane. So we're working with 15 so we're working with 15 by 15 if we want to stick just to the regular. What I want to know is, can I make a grid? I wonder, is there a way to insert a grid into paint.net, because that would make this way easier, because otherwise I'll have to just make it by hand, which kind of cringe, not gonna lie, kind of cringe, but I mean, we can do it if we need to. So does anybody happen to know, does anybody use paint.net here in chat? Does anybody happen to know if we have a grid option? It would be an insert, right? Well, we have a pixel grid, but that's not gonna, yeah, it's not gonna help us. If you turn that off, edit, tool. If anything, it would have been in shapes, but I don't see that. Okay, well, I think what we're gonna have to do is just, I used it, and by that I mean I have never used it. Thank you, Cap. We're just gonna have to make it by hand. So we don't have to make every single one actually by hand, but we will want to what am I thinking of? We'll need to make at least one row, and then we can copy paste the row. You know what I'm saying? Or like we can multiply it. So let's see. Let's get it aligned with the corner. And wait. I almost kind of shot myself in the foot there. We want to make a new layer and then do all this. If we accidentally use it on the same layer, that would have been horrible. That would have been a travesty. But good thing I did not do that. Am I right, gamers? Okay. Boop, boop, boop. So, what was it? I think we wanted 0.9. Well, okay, this is 0.75 inches. We have so much extra space, we could probably do an inch per square, right? I think we could do that. So let's stretch her out a little bit here. Where's the inch? Oh, I don't. This looks really big. Just like, you know, right here. But I think we are just very zoomed in. Yeah, we're just very zoomed in. So that's an inch. And increase the thickness a little bit so it's more easily seen. Let's see. I kind of want to change the color of it too, so it's easier to recognize. We can always change the color later. We'll make it disgusting yellow for everybody at home. Or is that yellow actually? That looks kind of... There's yellow. What is this? It's almost... I don't know if I'm shade blind here, but that looks green to me. We'll do this one. This is a little easier on the eyes. You know, I'm thinking of... Now that I'm thinking of New Vegas, I've been wondering. I still have that whiteboard, and I've been wanting to use it for something on stream, like I did with the you know, ashtray, the whole ashtray bit. Not like exactly like that, you know, but like I have it, and I feel like it'd be a fun thing to use on stream. I just don't know what it'd be, you know. I was thinking maybe we could do like a swear jar sort of situation, or something like that. But I don't know. It feels a little gimmicky saying it out loud. But I don't know. Opinions? Because we don't have channel points or anything. We don't have channel points or anything like that. So maybe we could use the, you know, use our whiteboard for something similar. We'll do this color, so we can a voice crack piggy bank. The thing is, what do we do with the points in the piggy bank, you know? Or is it just to keep track at my own expense? I mean, that's... Either one is valid, I guess. Control C. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do now, chat. Well, two points would go into the piggy bank this stream. I definitely need more water, I think. How are you guys liking the classical music, by the way? Is it soothing the soul? I can barely hear it, like it's coming through here. So I can... But, like, you can tell that it's from, like a late 80s PC game. You know? And you know, it's kind of crazy. Some of these Scrabble games are pretty modern. Which, I mean, it kind of baffles me a little bit, because why would you play a virtual Scrabble game in 2022, right? You aren't gonna like it, but you could read chat. You just throw them out with respect. Oh, always hustling, always on that grind. I respect it. I respect it, Cap. I respect it, Cap. You know what? Sure. These markers haven't been used in a while. Also, it's impossible. It's still impossible to, like, see. Unless I do like this. I think it might be too bright, though. My ring light. We got 2 so far. Also, the problem is I don't know where to put it. Like, I tried propping it up on this, but it's too heavy. So I'll keep it handy. I'll keep it handy. And we'll I feel like we'll know when there's enough. You know what I mean? Oh, okay. Went a little psycho crazy there. So we've got 8. This will make 8. See how fast this is? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then if we double this, we'll have 16, and then we can just remove 1. Buy another camera, focus it solely on the board, add it to the stream, boom. See, that would be a good idea, but that requires me buying a camera, like a webcam, which I've kind of considered buying a webcam recently anyway, because if you haven't noticed, the stream quality is kind of bad. It's a little bad. It's a little less than standard def, I think. I mean, not that you need like a high quality camera for a good stream. I don't think that's true. But it would certainly make the VODs more appealing to watch. And the clips as well. Oh my gosh. That violin does not, it's not working. But I mean, that would be a good idea. Like one of my friends who also streams, Wabus, I would recommend him. Check him out. He's playing he's currently playing through Sonic Adventure, if you're into that. But he has a cat, and he has a camera dedicated to his cat. His cat's name is Cheese, so he calls it the Cheese Cam. I always thought that was a fun part of his stream. But instead, this is like a board of shame cam. Right, so this is 15 by 15. Okay. Alright, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take this. Oh boy. We're gonna take this and we're gonna duplicate it downwards now. Until we have 15 rows. Boosh. Okay. Let's alternate the colors though. Right? So Control C, Control V. Move it down, but don't connect it so we can change the colors. Color picker. Good. Wait, how do I do this? Because if I turn this pink, then I won't be able to turn this yellow without turning both of these yellow. A slight issue there. What do we think about this one, chat? I guess, because if I put these together, then it kind of defeats the purpose of the alternating colors, because I need to see where each boundary is clearly. Well, why don't I just move it over like this? And then I'm a certified genius, right? Boom. And then delete the one on the end. And then just make a new one. Watch. Destroy. Control C, Control V. And I just move this guy over here. Boosh. Anyway, yeah. Webcam would be nice. I don't know how expensive they are. I've actually tried, someone I work with, or someone who works at the building I work at. Her husband was my technology teacher. So I asked her, like, hey, does your husband have any extra webcams that he's not using? I sure would like one. And she was like, oh, you know, he doesn't trust cameras, so he doesn't have any webcams. I'm like, dang it. That's a bust. Oh, that's cool. Can I hold both of them down at the same time? Yo, new tech. I just discovered new tech, chat. If you hold down shift and click with magic wand, it selects every pixel of the same color. That's pretty cool. I'll make this way easier. C, Control V. Okay, and then you see how this is gonna work, right? We just duplicate this. So now we got 4. But yeah, he strikes me as the kind of guy that that would be paranoid like that. I mean, I guess I can't really blame him, because, you know, webcams, they're not hard to bypass, I'd imagine. Not that I've ever done it myself, but, you know, just thinking theoretically, it's probably not very hard. So I can see that. But I mean, like, wouldn't you expect them to at least collect, or like to have some in like a drawer or something from working on computers? I don't know. I guess it was a long shot. That's 8. So duplicate this. This shift click, the shift click technology is really coming in clutch right now. Control C, Control V. Ooh, that looks trippy. Yeah, this program does kind of, it's not chugging now, but like if we have too many layers, then it does start to like chug a little bit. I don't think we'll have that many layers. This is definitely not what it's gonna look like finally. Like, this is not the final design of the board, but we can use this as a template. Oh wow, that takes up more space than I thought. 15, 16, 17, 18. Well, I mean, it was 18 by 18. Well, we're taking this one off as well, the bottom one. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Now how do I... Okay. The shift click won't work in this case, but I can do this. Take this rectangle, and extend it to the other side. Boosh. You know, there isn't a category for... I was, you know, setting up the stream. I was looking for a Twitch category that would fit what we're doing here. There isn't a board games category on Twitch. Can you believe that? Oh, you know what? There's probably a tabletop games category. Let me check. Actually, no, not worth it right now. Oh, the music stopped. You're telling me there aren't there aren't enough people streaming board games for that to be a viable option? Also, here's some more Scrabble music. This is the last one was from a game called Scrabble. Oh well, the 1996 Hasbro version of Scrabble for the PC. This one coming up is the Scrabble game made by EA. Enjoy. From the screenshot on the YouTube video, it kind of looks like a Facebook game. It kind of sounds like a Facebook game, but you know, that's neither here nor there. So, where should we orient this? Because if you take a look at, well, you won't be able to see this. Let me see if I can demonstrate. Let me see if I can demonstrate what I'm about to say. I need to make a new... Okay. Let me just draw out what I'm thinking of. So, we could make it, like, bigger. Like, we could make the grid fill out the entire thing, but the thing is, why is it shaped like this? Well, the thing is, we need more space for other information. So, I need the paintbrush. So, we have our board, right? And we have our... This is what it currently is. We have our grid. And this is what it looks like on Scrabble as well. And then you have your information off to the side here. So this information in Scrabble is for like how many of each letter there is in the game. So that you can plan around like you know, the letters that are left. In this game, it's not really that important because letters get shuffled around. So the available letters are essentially infinite, so that doesn't matter. But what does matter in this game is that so I guess I'll explain a little bit of how this game works. You have paths, right? You have paths that the pieces move on. And then gaps between the paths they have to bridge using letters. And each one of these is a different color. So let's say that's a color, and this is a color, and this is a color, right? And off to the side here, the type of information we need for this game is, in this game you're able to decide what letter corresponds to each color by placing a letter tile there. Right, and that's what we need off to the side. So like A is red, B is blue, C is green, right? So that's what we need. So the question we need to answer is, should we have the grid to the right? Should we have it to the left? Should we have it above? Or should we have it below? Or, because I expect this game to be played by multiple people at once, should we do something like this? Or, you know, like this, to where it's sort of more evenly spaced for all the players to reach? I mean, players are gonna have to reach farther than others for certain parts, but at least it's equalized that way. Actually, you know what? That might not be a bad idea. Okay. I didn't think this through. Should I explain like the full rules of the game? I don't know if that's necessary at this point. Okay, well, I don't have the full rules because it's sort of like still in a beta, right? But basically, the goal of the game, you roll dice to move along paths, either the colored paths that are already on the board, or paths that you use by making letters from one path to another. And the goal is to reach the other player, like tag them kind of, and knock them off the board. That's the basic premise. Everything else is kind of up in the air. I kind of have ideas for like Mario Party style mini games, or when I play tested the sort of prototype with my friend the other day, he suggested that there should be something more to tagging players, because right now you reach a player and then you beat them and you win. But maybe we could make it like sort of a dual mini game, like from Mario Party as well, sort of run with a theme. I don't know. The nitty gritty is not necessarily as important right now as just getting the board on there. So I kinda have to wait for that to load. So we could put it like off to the side, but the board is so big. And it's square, so no matter what we do. But one idea, we could do it like this, perhaps? No, the board is too big. The board's too big to do it like that. We could put it in the corner, maybe? Because we should have room for both the I don't know what to call them, like the space where you put letters to decide what color corresponds to what letter. But that doesn't really roll off the tongue, does it? I had a name for him. Let me see. This is a fun fact. So I got this at a Goodwill. It's essentially like it gives you a bunch of generic pieces and a bunch of generic boards, and then like a little pamphlet that's like, here's how you can play 100 different games with these pieces and boards, right? But it turns out that this is a fantastic prototyping tool, because it comes with a bunch of assorted generic pieces that you can just use for anything that you want. So I'm kind of using it for that right now for this game. But here's some rules. Tile key, that's what I called it. I called it the tile key, which makes sense because it's like a key for what color is which. It'd probably make more sense to call it the color key though. And it's a little catchier, isn't it? Color key. So we should have room for the color key, the logo somewhere, and maybe if we include mini games, probably a little area that describes when you play what mini game. Not how to play it, because that'd probably take up too much room. But we'll put it, and we can always move this later. We just need enough room for one. See, because part of me is like, it makes most sense to put it in the corner, right? Because that way you have the most room possible. But on the other hand, it just looks kind of ugly. If we put it in the center, you have room on either side, but I don't know. Also, that's not the middle, is it? Well, yeah, that is the middle. We put this in the middle, or roughly in the middle. Did I get that exact by eye? No, I did not. No. There we go. I think that's just about as center as we can get it. If we put it in the center, we don't have much room for activities. I mean, there is room for, like, put one color there, one color there, one color there. Let's try that. Also, I know that this checkered background is ugly. We'll get rid of it eventually, but right now it's kind of what we're working with. So I'm gonna put, oops, it doesn't work, I'm on the wrong layer. Boosh, and Control C. I'm gonna copy one of these squares, because this is where you put the tile for whatever color. Oops, I do not want to. I want to keep it the right dimensions. So we could put it in the middle. Here's my current thought, chat. I need to move closer to the mic, I think. Here's the current thought. I put one in the center of each of these sides, right? So maybe like the red side, the blue side, the green side, and then I put like the logo or something up there. What do we think? Well, actually, you know what? Let's just do it and see what we think about it. I think that makes more sense. Oops. So let's line it up here, because I like geometry. Put that... Okay, what does that say? That's the safe zone. I need to see what all these thingies say. The board border. Approximate area on the front side of the board where the black backing paper wraps around, but the white paper on the front doesn't cover. Extend your artwork past the board border into the bleed zone for fully bled artwork. Okay. Your artwork past the board border. The board border. So don't put anything important there. Safe zone. Do not place any important text or images beyond this dotted line. Anything past has the potential to be trimmed. Okay. Trim line. The actual physical edge. Bleed zone. Extend your artwork past the gray area if you want your design to extend to the edge of the board. We require a bleed of 1/8 inches. Please use to prevent trimming. Please to make sure your artwork extends all the way. Border area. This is the minimum recommended border area. If your board design utilizes a border, you will want it to extend the width of this guide on each side. Well, wow. If your board design utilizes a border, you want to extend the width of this guide on each side. Okay. So I don't think we're gonna have a border, maybe? Maybe not. Guess that depends. We'll see. The thing you have to remember when you're doing something like this is make a separate layer for everything. Right? Because you don't know what you'll have to move. Right? So this little thing right here gets its own layer. And we want it to be about there. So boom, we make a new layer. And this will be the RGB. This will be the blue. This will be the blue section. Shapes. I think a trapezoid makes the most sense here. Blue. Blue? Dark blue or blue blue? We'll do this blue. This is the bluest blue, I think. Oh. We need to actually set the primary color to blue. And just make it so we can edit it. Alright, so... how does this need to be? It needs to be like this. The wider side needs to be on the right. And we want this to be lined up here. Now it's kind of hard to know when it is correctly aligned. There we go. That should be perfect 90 degrees. As you can see down there. I don't know. Can you see that? Can you see that part? That tells you what angle it's at. So that's 90 degrees. And I want to bring this in. How do I... oh, okay. It extends much farther than I thought. There we go. And I want this to bleed all the way out. So I'll go ahead and do that. And then it should be as easy as pulling it up. Now, what I wish we would have is... see, because it doesn't... I want it to be right there. Maybe a trapezoid isn't the right call. I think maybe what we need to do is make it have several shapes. Like make a rectangle and then a triangle on the end. I think that's the play. Boosh, okay. And we don't even have to mess with angles here because it's a rectangle. Boom, okay. Then we do the same, and then we'll use triangles for the corners. Yep, looks right to me. We should save this too, shouldn't we? File, save as. Never forget to save. I've made that mistake too many times. Oh, yeah, there's actually a right triangle right there. It's going the wrong way, but it's got the spirit. Now, pro tip, the farther in you zoom, the more fine control you'll have. Sometimes not fine enough. As you can see down there, I can't quite get 180 degrees. It throws it off just that slight bit. Probably see down here. Actually, you'll probably be able to see, like, along the teeth here, some sort of distortion. In the grand scheme, it's not really something you're gonna see. Actually, I'm not even really seeing it. I was expecting it to look a little jank, but we're pretty much fine. Okay, overlap it a little bit. I didn't throw it off over here, right? You kind of got to babysit this a little bit. Boosh. Okay. Okay, so now you can see the distortion a little bit. Right, where it isn't quite 90 degrees. Or 180 in this case. But it gets the job done. I accidentally copied the entire thing. Okay. Now we do the same on the other side. And hopefully, actually, I think it'll... No, it's the exact opposite. But at least in this case, we can do one of these. We can just flip it around. Actually, could we have done that for down there too? I'm foolish. We could just... Okay, you know what? Actually... I don't know if I'm obsessive compulsive or not. I don't think I am. I'm not quick to self-diagnose myself like that. I feel like there's something though. I don't think it's a disorder or anything. Just like, you know, like a personality trait, or like a, would you call that a personality trait? Being like, you know, particular about like things being even and orderly. I think that's just I think that's just a normal personality trait for people to have, you know. But anyway, I don't know when I started doing this, but probably like, I don't know, maybe a couple of years ago, I started like, I see it's still not even like perfect. because I had to stretch it out. A few years ago, I started doing this like routine, or I guess it's more of a ritual. You can describe it like that. At night before I go to bed, where I have to double, triple, like quadruple check that my phone is like correct, like the alarm is set for the right time and the volume is just right, and you know, like the silence is off and do not disturb is on. I have to go through that checklist 4 or 5 times before I'm satisfied and I'll go to bed, which is completely irrational, right? Like, it's those very specific settings. Like, I can't go to bed without the volume being at a very certain level. I feel like it's a bit of an issue, honestly. I'm not concerned, really. I'm just a little, it's like, why do I care so much? You know? So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to flip, wait, no. Flip. I flipped it the wrong way. Wait, actually. Could I do like, cause it's a square, right? So if I rotate it around, then I'll just be able to layer. I can only rotate it 180? You kidding? I can't rotate. I can only rotate it 180. It's kind of dumb. You know, instead, see, I can rotate this more freely. So I'll do this. Control C. Put it back. Make a new layer. And then theoretically, if I control V, it'll put it right where I need it. Let's go. And then I can do the same thing. On the other side. Control V. Cool, cool. And theoretically, I can do this with this as well. Go 180. These are the shortcuts that you learn. After using paint.net for all of those Ego and Opus cards, I've found a lot of shortcuts. Not that, you know, this is like insider expert knowledge. This is probably very basic, like workflow or paint.net workflow stuff. Or, you know, maybe paint.net isn't what people are using. But you know what I'm saying. Like image editor stuff. Oh. Let me separate that. Sometimes though, I do get a little caught up in the process. I forget to add a layer. Nope, not what I wanted. Let me go ahead and separate this onto its own layer. Control X. Control V. Yeah, I used to not do all this. I used to do it by hand. Like, okay, how many pixels away is this from this, so I can replicate it on the other side. It's like, no, that's not necessary. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do all that. But anyway, I mean, that is, it does feel like an obsessive compulsive thing. Not that I am OCD or anything, but it seems like a tendency, or like a, I don't even know what to call it, because I literally am hung up on that. If I don't do that, it'll feel like it's biting at me, like I can't go to sleep. Oops, did it again. Play again. Control V. Okay, and I'll change the colors on these. Oh, did our music run out again? It's funny because like it's giving me kind of like a, like an idea of how long we've been streaming. It's about an hour. Yep. So here's Scrabble 2.0 from 1999. This is the original soundtrack. I hope you enjoy. This is, oh, it's by Jim Crew, Francis Dyer. It's actually the first one with credits. This guy got the soundtrack out of a cereal box. Okay. Well, enjoy this Scrabble cereal box music. Alright, kind of banger so far. I like saxophone. Like elevator music, kinda. So what we want is red, blue, and green. You know, RGB. Red, blue, green, I think. Because if this is the top, if this is like the orientation of the board, then red, blue, green. So primary. Red, blue, and green. What's the most neutral green that we have? That's about right. Oh, you can't. You can barely see that now. Red, blue. We leave that be because it's already blue. Green. Save our work. And just so we can see this more clearly, I'm gonna make this yellow. Alright, well, there's our basic board. I feel comfortable now putting a background layer here. We'll use we'll just use white. Well, that makes the yellow a little bit hard on the eyes. What contrasts with both magenta and yellow? Maybe brown. Brown. Well, black. Black contrasts with everything. There we go. This is what we'll be working with. This is our board. Actually, I'm planning on drawing over this at some point. Paint bucket. It's a little hard to look at, but white is probably the best option. Unless I change the color of the yellow tiles to something else. Let's see. Let's experiment a little bit. Use our new shift click trick to turn everything a different color. Let's try this like moss green. Does shift click work with that too? It does. Yeah, it's not easy to look at. Does it matter all that much, really? Like in the grand scheme? Gray. Yeah, I'll just keep it as it is. No need to overcomplicate things. Okay, so now that the basic board is done, what's next? Although, does seem still a little bit, like we're not using our space efficiently. But I mean, what else are we gonna use the space for? You know? I mean, again, like the logo goes up here. We don't even know if we're going to be using mini games or not, so we might not need the extra space. Okay, so next order of business. I want to plot out the shape of the board, which I'm glad I wrote this down before. I drew out a couple of ideas for the board, right? So let me show you kind of what I'm thinking of. Oops. So in this game, you start around the edges on different spots as a starting point, you know, because you need a starting point. Because all the players can't start in the same place, because the goal is to tag each other. So if you're starting in the same place, that kind of defeats the point, right? So you start on the edges. Now my dilemma is, do I make the board perfectly symmetrical so that it is completely fair no matter where you start? Or do I sacrifice some of that fairness for a more interesting layout? Right? So that there's, you know, like different areas of interest almost on the board. So let me show you. So I have one layout, which is the one I'm currently using, where it has sort of like a main highway going along here. And like different branches off of the main highway, right? So there's the main highway structure, and then you have like stuff over here. Then you got like some scattered islands over here. You know, kind of like this. More or less is kind of what it looks like, you know. And then there's some dedicated starting spaces, like right here. You know, you can start here or down here. And then there's like a middle island, you know. So that's the one I use for the prototype. I think this idea is a little more fun because, of course, you know, you have it looks more visually interesting for one, and two, it sort of opens up some strategy. Like, do I want to move onto the highway where I can move faster but my opponents can move faster as well? Or do I want to sort of isolate myself, right? Because one of the mechanics in this game is that you can build bridges with letter tiles, but you can also destroy bridges made of letter tiles to isolate yourself or players, right? But you can't destroy like the main roads. So if you're on the main highway, here, then there's nobody stopping them from getting to you. But you can also place blockades in this current version. Like, you can place blockades on the road to stop people from getting to you. So that's also an option. I don't know. More visually distinct. However, there's also the option of doing something more symmetrical. Right, so we have the same in all four quadrants, no matter where you are. Boosh, boosh. It looks kind of like this, more or less. This one's much easier to draw, for what that's worth. Then you have like a little square in the middle. So it's sort of all islands. You have to make letters to get around, no matter what. That's option 2. The main advantage here, obviously, is that it's more fair. I mean, that's the main draw. But the disadvantage is that it just kind of looks a lot more boring, you know? It doesn't look as cool. Which I think does matter. And for some reason, I feel like I feel like the other one has more space, right? Like it's hard to see. I should probably scan this. So it's easier to demonstrate my point. But like I feel like there's more space to go. Well, there's more spaces on the board at least. In this one. Like there's more spaces because there's a long continuous road. But the thing is, you want to force the opponent. You want to force players to actually have to make words, you know? Because if they can just travel along this way, then they don't really have to make any words. They can keep patrolling the road, you know? I'm not sure. Well, the thing is, we can experiment, right? So, what I want to do for the rest of the stream, I think, is to fill in the gaps for, the roads. And keep in mind, something to consider while we're doing this is that what I want ideally is an interesting layout, an asymmetrical layout that that has several different gap sizes on different parts of the board. You know, so some parts you may need to make a 2-letter word. Some parts you might need to make a 5-letter word to cross. You know, stuff like that. And I'm not going to fill it in with color just yet, because do remember that each of these spaces would have different colors in the real game. But right now, this is just for demonstration. I'll use black to represent the roads. We need to settle on nomenclature as well. Like, I think calling these roads works for me. Roads and bridges. Well, oh no. Road and bridge? Sorry. I just gave myself, like, the heebie-jeebies. I work in custodial, right? I think I mentioned this several times before. And one of the buildings I have to clean is the road and bridge department. And man, they do not make my job easy. I'll tell you that. So, let's see. It's good. This is the super highway portion. I'll go ahead and make the middle here. Give myself enough reference, you know. I really hope I gave myself enough space. I mean, I did the calculations. go here. Boosh, 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 boosh. You see, it's already starting to take form. Take form. Need to open my mouth when I speak. That stops there. And in the current version of the game, there's actually a start space right there, which probably is a little broken. Like, probably need to move that, because it puts you directly on the highway. Which, you know, I've outlined the advantages of that. So that might need to, or maybe I mean, there's a lot of room for change. There's very little about this game's rules that is set in stone. So we can change a lot about, you know, everything. And this is the island section over here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2. Boosh bomb. So I think I've spaced these out well enough, like in a sensible way, so that you could, like, I mean, you see here we have a 3 gap right here. We have a gap of 3 right here, gap of 1, gap of 3. There's no gap here that's longer than 3 letters. I don't think. I mean, if you counted this one up here, if you wanted to like make a huge play, go from there to there. Or, well, going from here to here is almost impossible. But I mean, you could try. You know, that's the kind of stuff that I'm, you know, thinking about. But like, I mean, look at this. The advantage of doing it in this program, specifically like this, is that we can shift it around very easily if we want to make any adjustments. It's like one of those cork boards, like those programming cork boards. That's what it kind of feels like a little bit. Still, yeah. I like this. I like the asymmetrical sort of thing more. One thing that we did discover though is that it's harder than you think to make like 3-letter words. 'Cause I guess now that we have a board in front of us, I can actually sort of explain how this works. Right? So let's say you start here. You can see my mouse, can't you? Can you see where my mouse is when I move it around on screen? I actually don't think you can. Anyway, if you're right here, You can? Okay. If you're right here, and you want, you know, you move to here, and you want to get across here to here, these tiles are black right now because we're just working on it, right? But in the game currently, this is a green space and this is a red space. So you're at the mercy of whatever the letters are. And they could be the same letter, right? So let's just say this is like a B and this is a like an O, right? How are you gonna do that? Because it has to go from here to here. Like, do you know any letters where filling this in makes a sensible letter, a sensible word? No. But that's why on your turn you can change what letters are in the color keys, right? So if you have a U, if you have a boo, oh, you know what? I think that would count. That actually would count. Yeah. All right. Well played. Boo would count. So you could place boo there and then move across. But if you didn't have an O to make boo, but you had like a U in your deck, do I get to move? Well, I mean, we're not playing right now. You would be able to get to move though. You can make a bridge and then move. But if you had a U, then you'd want to change all of the, what was this? You want to change all of the red tiles to something like, to like an N, if you had an N. So you can make bun, and then you can move across. You know, that's the sort of basic idea. But there aren't very many, I mean, especially if you have there are some situations on the board where when you're trying to cross, the start and end letter are the same. It just ended up that way. I tried to make that not the case. Actually. Wait, what am I saying? I made sure specifically that there was never a case like that. Like any tiles that are directly across from each other are different colors. I may change that though. It might be more interesting to have some gaps that have to be like same letter. Well, that's very hard to do. I mean, like, what if both of these were B? Right? What if both of these were B? What kind of words could you make with that? Bib? I guess you could do bib, bob. That's really it. You could do bib and you could do bob. The music stopped. Should we start the music over or just, because there was only those 3 playlists. I'll take requests. But anyway, that's sort of the gist. So, I don't know if we should move on with this board. Like, start making everything on top of this board. Or not. Or play around with the layout. Scatman? Let's see. Scatman John. Is there a way I can just play his discography? This may... Is this DMCA? I mean, am I gonna get a copyright strike for playing this? I hope not. here's the full album. Here's the Scatman John full album. For your listening pleasure. Anyway. So should we play around with this a little? Like, maybe open up some new routes. Like, maybe we could put one there. I was thinking there, it was a little lonely right there. Maybe put a new tile there. Or right here, perhaps? Because you could put tiles, you know, right there. Connect it that way. I just feel like if I do something like that, then then we don't have as much variance. And the thing is, without playing the game, without actually like being able to play it, it's kind of hard to figure out where we need to change. Actually, you know what? Now that I'm saying that, there is a way. We could put this in, we could put this in, what is it called? Tabletop Simulator. We could slap this board down in Tabletop Simulator. Like load up a Scrabble game that's already made, and then just take the Scrabble board out, replace it with our own, use the tiles, put some pieces in there, and boom, we have a prototype that we could play. I just need people to play it with me, is the problem. So, if anybody in chat wants to, well, actually, wouldn't that require me to give out my, like, Steam information? That might be a little dubious. I could, well, no, I don't want to put it publicly up on the Steam Workshop, because it's not finished at all. But I do like the idea of testing it there. Which, that is something that I have done before. I've done that for Ego and Opus. When I was rebalancing cards. So, I mean, I know the process. Already have your Steam info. Makes it easy. If you wanna help me, play test, Cap, that'd be fun. I'd appreciate that. So if that's our next plan of attack, then what I need to do right now is recolor all these black squares to the correct colors, which will probably take the rest of the stream. That's good because we have to fill time a little bit. So we'll start with the red. It would take far too long to be like switching between them constantly. So I'll just go down the row, find all the red. There's red. I'm gonna go cross-eyed looking at this. Red. Red, red. Red, 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 red. Red. a deep cut right there. Nobody in chat but Cap knows that reference. I guarantee you. Blue, red. Well, you might get half the reference, but not like the whole thing. I'm just rambling right now. I'm trying to speak and read. Bebabo, Bebabo. You know how it is. He's spitting straight facts. I honestly do like Scatman John, though. I like his stuff. I've only, you know, I've heard the basics, like his flagship songs, like Scatman's World and I'm the Scatting Man, you know. But I've taken the time to listen to a little bit more of his discography. And, you know, I do like it. It's very upbeat. It's very positive music. Like, it just makes you feel nice. Like, you know, it's like he had a lot nice to say, which is refreshing. You know, you listen to it and it's just like he's like encouraging you, like you're awesome. You know, we should love each other and all that jazz. You just you know, you feel a little bit more encouraged by Mr. John. I think that's epic. The funny thing is, I know that the first time I ever heard Scatman John, and what I always associate his music with is those Gmod, like oh no, not Gmod, like those videos of Mario 64 characters, like just faffing around. Sometimes it was in Gmod, but like it would be footage of Super Mario 64 and Mario like walking around, and they would mod in like a Luigi as well, and they would just like punch each other with like Windows Movie Maker text over it and like funky sound effects, you know. That was peak comedy back in the day. You know, there was a time and place where those kind of videos were absolutely hysterical. And you know, I don't regret laughing at them. I don't know if those were the kind of videos I watched with my brother or not. I don't know. Do you remember that, Cap? Us, like, on the family computer, watching those Super Mario 64 videos? Because there's a specific moment I remember that I tie to Scatman's World specifically. Is like there's a moment in one of those videos where Mario starts flying around, and it plays that song while he flies. It's always stuck with me for some reason. It's kind of funny how memories work, isn't it? It's a little goofy. Human psychology, the human brain. Like, why do I remember that, but not other ostensibly more important things that I should remember? It's puzzling, for sure. RGB. RG. Is this? This is B. This is B. G. The letters are scrambling. They're scrambling, rambling around. B. Either of these B. Do not remember that video. Only remember of Do You Like Waffles and High School Never Ends with the Sonic versions. Yeah, I remember those. Those are also extremely vivid. It's like if I picture it, I'm practically teleported back in front of the family computer watching those. It's kind of insane. Those I kind of regret watching a little bit. Because now I have to, every now and then I think about how I did watch them. And I cringe just a slight bit. But it's kind of a good cringe. You know, it's kind of a comforting cringe. You know, because like that's not me anymore. All these are going to be green, by the way, so I don't need to see that anymore. It's kind of like a comforting cringe. Almost. It's very nice. It was simpler then. Because I didn't know it was cringe. Neither of us knew it was cringe. We didn't understand the concept of cringe. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't care that it wasn't well edited, that it was embarrassing. We just thought it was funny. Just innocent, you know, just innocently funny. Very wholesome. This looks pretty rough to actually play. I might want to change the colors of the grid to make this like not unbearable to play. So let me go ahead and paint the bucket, and we'll change it to, oh, here it is, the song. Shift. Uh-oh. It's considering that part of the color. It thinks it's the same color. Let's try this. If we reduce the tolerance. Okay, there we go. That works. Paint bucket. And this will make it all the same color. See, now it's a little easier to see. Although, well, now, if we save it like this, then it's irreversible. Why does it look like that? Oh, right, because it's double width over there. Never mind. I was freaking out a little bit. I kind of want it to still be multiple colors, though. Which one is this? I'll use this other brown. That's not brown. There we go. You can still tell, but they're also different colors. I think that will work. I think that'll do. The next order of business will be to somehow import this into Tabletop Simulator and give it a whirl. Excuse me. I did not realize until now how sweaty I am. It's still a little bit hot. It's 84 degrees right now, and this box is very well insulated. It always reflects the temperature outside. So, I mean, the door is open. I have my fan on. It's still so stuffy in here. So I'm going to save this. We did not need this today. So good progress today, I think. This is the basic. This is what it'll basically look like. Of course, subject to change. But yeah, this is what we're dealing with. And since the next step is pretty involved, I'm gonna end the stream just a couple minutes early. I thought I accidentally closed Streamlabs for a sec. That would have been a little embarrassing. Let me put my face here. Here I am. Thanks for coming out, chat. Oh, is that 60 FPS? That looks a lot smoother than usual, doesn't it? I mean, that's not just me. Has it always been 60 FPS? I've never noticed. That's really weird. I actually just discovered the other day, I was recording a video for my YouTube channel. I was doing like an announcement video on my phone, and I only just then discovered that there's a 60 frames per second option when you're taking a video, and like it looked night and day. Hold on. I guess that's number 3. Have we been keeping count? It's probably more than 3. I'll give can you see that? I'll give a bonus 2 just for ones we've missed. There we go. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, 60 FPS. I don't know. I'm amazed. Some people say you can't really tell a difference beyond 60 FPS. I don't know, but 30 to 60 is like incredible. Can you tell I'm a PlayStation 2 gamer? That I'm extremely impressed by 60 FPS. Anyway, thank you everybody for coming out and watching. I appreciate the support of anybody that that comes in and chooses to watch, listen, or lurk. You know, all of you are equally important to supporting the stream, so thank you very much. Thank you to Cap for always being a diligent mod, keeping the peace. I know it can get a little bit riley in this chat room. So you're doing great work. There is no one else streaming this evening, so we're not going to be raiding anybody. So I'll leave you with my my spiel here. I always do that in the wrong order. I should check for raids first and then thank everybody for being here. Remind me to do that next time. Anyway, oh, there's an ant in here. I swear there are ants. There are ants getting everywhere in my house these days. Everywhere. I thought this room was safe. I guess not. This room was pretty competently sealed. I don't know how there are ants getting in here. Anyway, thank you everybody for being here. Tomorrow we have a short week this week. Obviously, I wasn't here for Monday. Right? Yeah, I wasn't here on Monday because I was celebrating Memorial Day. Well, I wasn't celebrating Memorial Day. I was enjoying Memorial Day. And in honor of Memorial Day, you know, I feel it's a little bit of a. I feel like it's a little bit of a sacred holiday, I guess. I don't know if anybody feels that way about it. I'm American, so, I mean, any non-Americans out there, you probably don't even have Memorial Day, but anyway, I just would have felt a little weird, streaming on that day. Plus, I did some gaming with family, so worth it either way. And I won't be here on Friday, but I will be here tomorrow. I'll be continuing the God of War 2 playthrough. We just finished. What did we just finish? What was the last thing we did in God of War 2? We did the Steeds of Time. No, we got to the island. We went through that swamp. Yeah. We died to a Cyclops a couple of times. Yeah, beat the Cyclops. And then moved through the swamp a little bit. And then found a checkpoint. And that's where we are. We're in the swamp. Right. Okay. So, tomorrow, God of War 2, picking up in the swamp. If you're into that, love to have you. If you're not, I loved having you. And, perhaps I'll see you next time. We'll be continuing the Lexicauseways development. That's the name of this game, if I didn't say it already. Lexicauseways, like lexicon plus causeways. It's like a causeway is like a bridge. It's pretty clever. We'll be continuing development of Lexicauseways next Monday. Okay, so have a great evening. Have a good night. Enjoy your Thursday as much as you can enjoy Thursday. And until next time, goodbye.